in Park City, and I got back from Park City like 2 weeks later. I was deathly sick. I was sick for like a week, and like I had never been that sick in my life, and I slept for like 60 hours. I mean, I don't sleep for 60 hours in a month,
That's
and
a lot.
and then for 3 days I slept basically, and I killed it, but I was really sick, and then my wife got it, and then she gave it to somebody else, and then so I think I actually had it, because what I had was a really, really deep treacherous cough, and it was really brutal. So
Yeah.
and I love that you started the show on this. Thank you so much.
Welcome to COVID talk. No.
Well, welcome everybody. It's another Saturday night, which means you're watching Spilling Ink, and we are so glad that you are. We see Rebekah's big finger down there. Okay, wait. What is her name?
You know, if she was in the chat, she would have commented about big fingers or something.
I like it.
She's an innuendo waiting.
I'm not in chat. I'm still thinking about commenting big fingers.
She's going to be thinking about that the whole show. Well, everybody, welcome to our show. This is our super serious, super professional writing and publishing.
Red Rum vibes here.
I'm not sure who that lady on the bottom left is. She kind of snuck in at the last minute here, but she's here, so we're going to roll
That's
with
William.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what is his name again?
William.
Jane.
William, yes, William is here. William.
Here's William. That's clear.
Okay, all right. I like it. William,
really quick there.
and we're going to spend about 57 minutes and 30 seconds talking to William about himself. But before we do, I want to give an opportunity for these two people, the show's sponsors, that way, tell us all about themselves.
It's like such a bad version of the Brady Bunch.
Joe and Late, tell us about yourselves.
All right. Well, welcome to Spilling Ink, the show that is sponsored by Go Indie Now. Go Indie Now is the online network that produces several different shows weekly, monthly, and seasonally that help promote and support and give credence to indie artists of all kinds. So all art forms we support, especially authors, and we do so through a myriad of shows that we produce. Some of them are live, some of them are filmed, and
This week in Indies.
Yes. Katie will be on our show tomorrow morning, which is This Week in Indies, which is live. And yeah, we do a lot of great content over there. You can see it. You can see it all. Right now, goindienow.com is our website. However, I will say more likely you want to go to our YouTube channel. If you just search Go Indie Now or where you're at in YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, just search Go Indie Now. You can do it all one word or separate words, and will be the first thing that pops up. And if you're on Facebook, we're at facebook.com/goindienow. Both of those tremendous social media platforms we produce shows on all the time. So check us out there and do that. We're also on Instagram at instagram.com/goindienow. And in doing so, we also have some content there. We post, some extra clips and things of that nature. I've done some shows on that. I've done some reviews and stuff on Instagram. I have vowed to be a little bit more active there, but it is what it is. Anyway, and my announcement that I'll share with people a little bit later tonight, my huge announcement, has something a little bit to do with that. So anyway, it's always time to Go Indie Now, and we hope to see you there. So thank you for giving us this platform to do that. And we're super excited to be a partner with Spilling Ink, because Spilling Ink has always been, as I consider it, our brother and sister show, and I am really, I really think it's one of the best shows out there, and I'm really excited to be involved with it. So.
Well, thank you, Joe, and we love you guys. We love Go Indie Now. It's fantastic, and I don't know if you heard. I did 3 library shows that we had to end up doing just streaming instead of in person, and I did mention Go Indie Now on the library show, although I forgot the full script at the beginning. So I was just reading it.
Not a problem. I appreciate it. Any chance I get. Again, which actually has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about later on tonight. So stay tuned because I have a huge announcement that I would like to make.
Okay. Does it have something to do with William?
It might.
Okay.
You never know.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I love
We
surprise.
got hope. All right. Well, I don't even know that I want to turn the mic over here, but I suppose.
Hi everyone, Rebekah Jonesy here. I am an author and COO of Free Furies Press. I write sexy, slaughtery, slithery, slimy, suspense, all kinds of good stuff. I write both romance and urban fantasy, and I do all the things publishing, but more than that, I also get really bad internet connection and tend to run late for things because of that. And then, of course, I had to change cameras, so now my background is all screwed up too, and the cat's attacking. So this is going to be a fun show. And of course, I love Splink, as my husband has taken to calling it and gotten me stuck on.
We're now Splink. I like it.
Wait.
Splink.
We should find a way
Well,
to.
I mean, when you spilling ink plus the cat butt, I don't know. It just kind of makes Splink.
I like it. Well, and she's standing
Let's
here.
not think
now
about it too hard.
now that I changed the camera angle, you really can't ever see it anymore.
Makes you wonder what the cat is looking at, though. Cat had a precarious position there.
Well, I think we need to try to find.
Remember, if the camera falls down, it is all Joe's fault.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. But yeah, could we combine Spilling Ink with the Go Indie Now name, kind of like Brangelina Jolie or whatever you do all those
Lincoln Go
names together? Spilling Joe, Inky Joe.
Splink and go. I like that.
Go Splink now.
Blink and go. Yep.
That got off track real quick. We're only 8 minutes and 6 seconds in. Good job, guys.
Nice.
New record. Woo-hoo.
Oh,
Yes.
don't blame me. I've been watching this show long enough. It's usually off track when Jason, sneaks in the live button, and you guys are just, think you're just sitting there chatting.
And then he tries and blames it on me. Huh.
This show has no tracks.
I'm just happy the camera is. I'm just happy the camera's on Rebecca's face and not on her boobs this time. No, don't do it.
I had to say
I
something.
can sit straighter. I can flex.
That reminds me of a funny conversation, and this was totally bizarro that I had with my daughters and Heather a few nights ago, where we're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, of course, because that's our bedtime show, and Terry Crews is doing whatever he's doing, and he's making his pecs bounce, and Abby was like, I don't understand how people can do that, and I'm just in a t-shirt. I was like, well, even I can do that, and I don't have big, huge muscles, and they're like, well, we can't do that. I was like, well, we'll try to do it. And so they're staring down at themselves trying to do it. They're like, we can't do this.
Looking down makes it harder to do. Keep your chin up, keep your shoulders back, and just put your hand there. It's your muscle.
Yeah.
You can feel your muscle. If you can flex your calves, you can flex your pecs.
Well, I had to promise them that everyone has those muscles. They are there.
They exist.
Anyhow.
You should see what my aunt can do with them. I mean, we're talking. She's a talented woman. I have no clue how you do that.
Oh, let's see about booking late Jonesy's aunt on the show. William, what
That
about
is
you?
actually my late aunt. So
Oh,
I don't
dang
think that
it.
one's gonna work.
That's not going to work.
All right, Jonesy, work on it.
Yeah, sorry.
What were we talking about?
We were going to introduce our third guest, and you just went off on peck twitching.
Oh, William.
Oh,
William, can you make your
Peck flexing, thank you.
can I make my pecs flex? Probably. I haven't tried, and I don't plan on trying, not yet.
Well, give it a
All
shot.
right,
Sit
all
up
right.
straight.
Oh God, no.
Not like you'd be able to tell with the shirt he's wearing.
That shirt is really loose. I like loose
But
shirts.
can Jane?
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
But
Oh,
can Jane?
dance, mama, dance.
This show was doomed from the start.
It went
Yeah, I
on.
was really
William's
wondering
already
why you
ready
guys
to
had
bounce.
me on with someone's child. Like, what were you guys thinking?
20?
I'm 20. I can
Last
handle
minute
it.
addition. Last
This is the
I
minute
most-
can corrupt him all the way up to 80, sweetheart. I'm cool.
Wasn't even the most
The
awkward
fun thing about
part.
having me on is we are going to stay on track because that track is just staying in the gutter.
I like this idea.
Never have to worry.
Oh God.
So, William, tell us about yourself.
I'm William Hool. I'm her son. I started writing when I was 14 or 13.
12 or 13.
12 or
okay.
13. And
Is that
it
when-
just became a hobby of mine. And right now I'm working on 2 separate stories. I've been working on plenty, but 2 of them have caught my eye. One of them is a short story series, and the other one is a novel series. But both have been racking in my mind throughout the past few weeks because I've been on a stuck part for my novel book. But my mom invited me onto the show, and here I am. And all the
Maybe we
attention
can help him unstuck his book.
Well, I was this week vacation was from work, one because it's been getting hectic, as I said before the show, because of all the crap that's going on. But during this week, I've been able to go out on walks, and that's kind of cleared my mind and figured out where I want to go and the direction and how I'm going to get there. So that was good.
Yeah, he's like me in that manner. The walk on the beach clears the head and gets the story going and all of that.
I
Right.
have a question. Who's going to play the guitar later for us?
My husband.
That's a nice aspect there.
Yep.
I know how to play a little bit, but not as much as my dad.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah, and he's out at the fire drinking with the neighbors. So
He won't be in for a few hours.
yes,
Probably
yeah.
not at all. We'll see.
Well, we'll go join him after the show.
Nice.
How does social distancing work when you're in a community like that? Are you guys all so close together that you kind of are already sort of semi-quarantined with each other?
I mean, yeah, sort of. I mean, we still sit apart when we're around the fire and stuff like that. We've done that a few times, but it's, their family on one side, us on the other,
Yeah.
and we have a pretty big fire pit.
It's like one of the things I really miss right now is just being able to hang out with other families, you never know if it's a safe idea or not. So we've been kind of playing it like really cautious, and we haven't done anything.
I mean, we sit on our deck. People come over and stand in front and talk to us. I mean, they're far enough away, and I don't know. It's just inherent here.
You guys are just naturally social distancing. Everyone's of the little bit older here, so they all kind of respectfully stay at a distance from what I've seen at least.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
have young people like us, like me and my girlfriend who are here, and we just don't care. We just kind of walk around and we're stupid. We try to respectfully keep our distance, but for most of the time we're just laughing and having a good time. And then we're like, oh
Yeah.
I'm
People
5
are
feet from
coming.
this person.
People are coming. We must move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the navigating of the beach. We walked the beach last Sunday, and people were sort of social distancing, but the beach was crowded.
Yes.
And you really can't social distance when there's wall-to-wall people. But we were trying to navigate through everybody and try to keep our distance from. It was We haven't gone for a walk on the beach on the weekend since then because it was just so crazy. So
Yeah.
No,
because storms are killing her.
Oh, send some storms our way, man. We haven't had a drop of rain in I can't remember how long.
Well,
It is so dry right now.
You're in Nevada. Nevada's just dry inherently.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Well, it's sticky here. We don't have the air conditioning on, so
Sticky?
it's sticky.
It's swampy.
Okay. Okay.
Sticky I can handle. Sticky is fine, but it's swampy. It is.
So that's the air conditioning on tonight?
That's not gonna help.
Are you guys in a part of Maine where it's illegal to trap lobster?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's illegal to touch the lobster traps that have come up on the beach. So
it's illegal to do that?
yes, it is. You've been here 20 years.
I was still curious. You can't stop a curious little boy.
Yeah, true.
Apparently, Mike and Lauren Faria have been flexing their pecs at home. I'm curious to hear, Lauren. You know, were both of you able to do it, and were you better than the other with the pec flexing? We'll kind of wait on that response. But then Mike also said, I wish I would have started writing younger. I wrote some poetry and stuff, but I only took on writing my comment shifted. Only took on writing my first novel in 2016. You know, I was kind of similar, Mike. I think that I'm a little bit older than you, but when I was in high school, you know, I wrote, you know, poems, terrible poetry, of course, but poetry, and then I didn't start my first novel until I was almost 30. So I don't think that's I think that's kind of a typical story. You know,
I have a story about that if you guys want to talk about this.
You know, Joe, I would really like to hear your story.
So actually, writing saved my high school career. I was a terrible high school student. I was truant more than I was present, and I didn't think much of the high school education that I received. However, I was writing dark short stories because I was really into Poe and Lovecraft, and I was really getting into those kind of, you know, darker Hemingway and things like that. And so I wrote a bunch of stories based upon, you know, trying to emulate those writers. And those short stories got in the hands of the person who was doing the school anthology. They do an anthology at my high school for some reason. And that person wanted to publish those stories. And so in order to obviously publish those stories at that school, I have to be a student, still be enrolled. And so it's actually kept me enrolled in this high school for, you know, 8 months longer than I would have been, because they would have kicked me out long before because I was such a bad student. And, you know, I wasn't a bad student. I was a truant student, I should say, because I actually had straight A's, but which turned into straight C's because I didn't ever take any of the tests because I was never there for them. But all the assignments I ever turned in, I always got an A on. So, but you know, I was just a terrible, terrible kid. Don't be terrible kids out there, but go to school. So writing actually saved me from being expelled, and I got to learn how to. That was my first taste of self-publishing, because part of the whole class, the whole idea was that she would incorporate all these writers together, and we would all learn how to publish it together. We'd go through all the process. We would sell the anthologies. We would learn how to place our anthologies. We'd learn how to typeset them. And this is during the time period in which there was no computers. I was one of the last classes in my high school to actually take typing on a typewriter. And so, yes, that's how old I am. So that's, you know, that was a really important thing for me, and I always remembered that, and it's always been a part of my, you know, thought process in doing that. So there's my story.
Yeah, I wrote in high school and whatnot, and then I stopped when I got married, and then started back up when I was 37. Yeah,
I don't
37, I
remember
think.
when you started, but I do. Oh,
Or
you
42. It
started.
was either 42 or 37. I don't
You
know.
started when I was young.
Yes.
I think that's what got me interested in it.
Well, apparently the chat could care less because they're talking about something completely different than what we're talking
Yeah, they're talking about rain.
We're all paying attention, aren't we, guys? Everybody sign off. We're all paying attention.
Well, apparently, guys,
It's still my heart. I tell my story and nobody loves me. Nobody pays attention.
Mike is just thinking about lightning and helicopters.
Lesson learned. Writers are sensitive, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody ever listens to the boss, Joe. I mean,
What's that, Rebecca?
what did we expect?
Yeah.
No one ever listens to the bosses.
Yeah.
Ask him how he feels about his mother as an editor.
Oh, there's a story there. Spill it.
I wanted
Be honest.
Okay. She's an ass. But she's no, she's a good editor. She's on my back. She is on my back all the time.
Hold on. Do we need to send your mom out of the room for a minute so you can?
No.
Wesley, are we sure we want him to tell his story?
So
Hitting range.
Hey, it's absolutely
She is-
true.
She is genuinely. I will give her a piece, and in my mind, I'm always critical, but I'll give her a piece that I know is not ready yet, and I know it's going to get some criticism. So I'm like, Mom, just take it easy on me. I know this needs work. I'm going to work on these things. She just literally emails me back. This needs to get done. This needs to get done. This is crap. I don't know why you did this. And I'm just sitting in my dorm room after a long day of talking to professors and getting yelled at for dumb stuff, and I just get screamed at by my mother.
I don't scream. I
You
don't-
aggressively
I
type
keep
it.
out-
She doesn't scream. She just types in all caps.
And William, in 10 years, when you go out in the world and learn that the publishing business sucks, a big one, you'll really appreciate what your mother did for you.
I have learned from her because I read, and the reason I got on a block was I read my current story, and I read through all of it, and I just sitting in a mirror, I looked at myself like, this fucking sucks. If I show this to my mother, she will tear it apart. So I had gone back and I had done work where I needed to get done. I reread it, and I was like, this still sucks. This is not going to pass. And now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with half of it, but the other half I have to work on, which is another 100 pages that still suck. But she's definitely taught me to put myself down sometimes just to get better and better. It's all about tearing a piece down and rebuilding it block by block. And sometimes you get one thing right, and you keep that block there, and you build around it, and so on and so forth. And I think that's something that a lot of people lose in the writing industry too, because you get torn down, and if you can't build it back up on that, then well.
When you get knocked down, you got to get up again.
Yep.
Hey, and who better to get that thick skin from your mom? Stranger.
It's definitely
Nothing's gonna keep you down, right?
to hear from her. I'm like, she loves me deep down. She just hates what I did. That's all. Kind of like when I was a terrible kid. I get it.
I'm making you better. That's
My mom used to tell me,
You better.
You're making me
You know what?
better.
Most moms that read their kids' work, it's, oh, honey, this is wonderful. Guaranteed they haven't actually read it. Your mom actually read your stuff, and she loved you enough to critique it to make it better.
Oh, I love my friends that go, oh, my mom loved this writing. And I look at them like, she didn't read it. She
No.
didn't read it. It's just, that's the honest truth. She didn't read it. And they're
Or
like,
they don't
At
know.
least she didn't tell you to change majors or anything. She didn't go, you know what, maybe this writing's not for you. Maybe you should go into science or something.
I have a law as my major. And
Maybe you should go into accounting, dear.
Oh,
If she
that's
said
just
that, that's a
mean.
snap.
No.
I go home and tell her a piece. You know,
This is gonna make my story sound so much worse.
You know what's worse? If you got home and showed her a piece and she just goes, you should probably learn a different language. English is definitely not your first one.
You know what? I actually had a review one time of my book that said, I'm not sure that the author's first language was English. I was
Wow.
like, oh, shit.
Dude, I hope you blew that up in
My
French.
first book. Yes. Remember I said I had editing problems?
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the reviews I got.
I've left a review like that. Now I'm all worried.
I expect that next week on next week's show to be in a frame, blown up right behind you, hanging up. That's awesome.
I would get that. I would get that definitely put up in my room somewhere. English is not my first language. Now when everyone says you wrote a great book, joke's on you. English is not my first language. Imagine if it was. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no. Yeah, I'm hard on him.
Oh yeah. You're
I'm gonna actually use that one because I mean my first language was baby talk, so
Yep.
I write about the Fae. I know how to tell a lie without lying.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've never told me how you felt when I sent stuff back, but my publishing partner, the other Jason, he said he used to get out of terror and really angry at me when he'd get my edits back because I don't hold back.
I don't get angry. I just get a little upset like that. You sent me an email going, "I'm disappointed in you." Like that hurts.
Oh, that's the worst.
You never say it, but you're correct in saying it.
He has to go have like a.
As a mom, though, that's the
Hey,
worst.
man.
thing to
Hey,
say to a kid. I'm not
I'll-
angry.
I'll-
I'm just disappointed. That hits hard.
Hey, William, just think of it this way. Hey, William, just think of it this way. Think of it this way, William. Your big advances will pay for your therapy.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It's already gone a long way though. Because whenever on the first short
Wow,
story,
that comment just killed all conversation because we're all going, yeah. Yeah.
I mean the criticism. I'm starting to get better at not like folding my computer over and wanting to chuck it across the room when I get the email back. But it definitely pushed it a long way, especially with the short story, because I have that pretty much done. I just need to edit out a few things, make sure grammar's fine.
Now he just crawls under his bed and cries, Jane.
Not under my bed, under my sheets. And then I put a pillow over my face. And then my girlfriend walks in the room. "Are you okay?" "No."
William, wait till
Oh, you've upgraded! Yay!
William, wait till you start getting the cattle prod on you.
I love the question of "Are you okay?" after my mom.
That's the actual sign he has hanging up. Mom just edited my book again. Leave me alone.
Glowing neon lights every time.
No, I've told you some things that were good.
Instead of a sock on the door, it's a crumpled page in between the door.
Yeah, 2 comments whenever something's good. "I like it. Nice job." And then the rest of it is, "Take this, take that."
Big long paragraph of crap.
I'd say nice things, you say nice.
Did you want to end your story this way, son? Really?
Sometimes I love it when I nail the ending, so I get great ending. And then right above it is just, "But see all of this? This needs to get fixed." It's like, love it.
I would like to say to you, William, that changes in 20 years of writing, but it doesn't. Brother.
No, it doesn't.
I might need to start looking for a new editor. I can't be 25 crying in bed because my mom just sent back this sentence.
You know what, though? Take heart, though, because it doesn't get better. You just get better at taking it, and you develop that rapport with like co-authors or with your editor, where you guys can have like a dialogue back and forth, where they're like, "I hate this." I'm like, "Well, why? Explain." "Well, here's what this is," and you can really dialogue it. And instead of getting insulted, you work it out, and you can actually work through the problem.
Whenever she points something out and I hate it too, I'm always tempted to send an email back going, "I hate this too."
No.
Just send them back a thumbs up. You did your job. You did your job good. I hate it as well. Maybe I should just take these 200 pages, put it in the dumpster, start over again.
No.
No, I did that one time with the book, and that was my first time writing solo, and I think that's a grave mistake that a lot of people make. Because one of my friends is trying to get into writing, and he did it too, and it's one of the reason it's a mistake. You take those 200 pages that you just had, and yeah, it may not have all been perfect, but there are a few paragraphs in there that might have been exceptional.
Yeah.
And everyone has their weaknesses when writing, and that's why it takes years before you feel like you're on par with some of these amazing books that come out. But I scrapped it, and I never picked it up again. I told myself I'm gonna just scrap it all, come back, and then rewrite it. And I just never got back to rewriting it because once I scrapped it, the idea was gone. The whole entire outline was gone. Everything that I wanted to do is just out the window, and it sucks because that's probably the most detrimental thing.
I don't know your mother as well as everybody else does here, but I can imagine she's beaming right now, thinking, "I have an author for a son," because that is exactly what an author would think. That is exactly the way we think, and that's. I think you're on the right fucking track, man. Sorry.
I'm also thinking I'm going to be a little bit harsher as a beta reader now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that when we went for that first walk, and he said, "Hey, Mom, I got an idea for a book," and we were walking the beach, the great,
always on beach.
And his ideas, and he said, "Rewrite it with me," when he was done, and the idea was phenomenal, and that's what the Death Chronicles came out as. So it's he's got a great mind. You just needed to get the
and
to finish a book of your own.
And I've also learned writing is one of, if not the toughest art to handle, because it's not only it's not a painting, it's not getting these edges done. It's every word carries an impact. Every paragraph, every chapter, every sentence, it needs to be gripping. And if you have a chapter like in the book I'm working on now, I had to go back and rewrite a chapter because nothing happened that was suspenseful. I reread it, and I was like, after 2 paragraphs, it didn't grip me enough to want to read the rest. And it's so tough because there are so many different styles of writing. First person, third person. You have all these other ridiculous things, and if you change something in the book, you change the whole context of the story. Like if you change point of views, it's going to confuse people. You keep one point of view throughout the whole, that's perfect. That's what you want to do with a book. But I also think there's ways you can manipulate it around. You can change the person that the view is on. So there's some books that will go 1 chapter is on this person and 1 chapter is on the next. And it's such an art that every single book is different in its own way and right. And most people, when they read, they don't see that. Like J.K. Rowling is an example for me because her Harry Potter series was really the first series I fully read. And that's what I knew her for the longest time. That's what she's really known for, is wizardry, this wizarding world of Hogwarts and all this. But she has so many other books that she's wrote that are so different. And I'm sure there were so many attempts behind them that eventually she learned to master her writing to the point where every single paragraph, as I said, every sentence is so gripping that the person cannot put the book down. And when you hit that point, whether it's 10 years into writing, 5 years into writing, 20 years into writing, once you hit that point, there's no going back because everything you put out is going to be the absolute best that you can do. And I think people underestimate that because it's not easy to get into writing. It is extremely difficult.
Well, and what most people don't see is that wonderful book that you read is not only the product of the author writing it, but it's the reviews, it's the editing. It's so much more.
Yeah, it's like 10 years worth of polishing.
Yeah.
And the more people you have to critique.
And it only took Hollywood 3 years to fuck it all to shit.
Exactly.
But having that editor there to catch things and to make the author rewrite them is one of the key elements.
Absolutely.
Or your beta readers, having a beta reader who's willing to call you out on something. I know, Jane, I've beta read for you,
Yeah.
both you and I, we're very short with our notes. We're like, nope, fix
So
this.
much
Nope,
progress.
No, this doesn't make sense, or this is
Yeah.
we don't mince words at all. We're just like, fix this, fix that.
And I think
Does anybody else here wonder what a Harry Potter beta reader would be like? Oh, Harry Potter, that's such a stupid name. Why would anybody be called Harry Potter? Can you imagine
I
Slytherin? What's
the
Slytherin?
notes she must have gotten as J.K. Rowling in her first beta readers?
well, I
His
went-
adopted family is completely unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah, right.
No one would
are you
do
talking-
that.
What is this? What is this half a train? What does that mean? Why are we on station 9.5? Why? What is that? What is that stupid shit?
when I
Three quarters.
when I went back and read the books, I went back and I read them, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It was like the beginning of my college because I had nothing else to do. And I was reading the first book. I sat there, I'm like, what the fuck does he have a lightning scar on his forehead? That just seems so random. And that has nothing to do with his name either.
That's what I said. I was like, how do you get a
Random
scar like that? That doesn't make any
scar.
sense.
With Guardian Leviosa scar on your head? I don't know. And then I was like reading into it, and you have the 3 factions. I was like, that's a good idea. And then I read the names, and I'm like, this doesn't sound British at all. This doesn't even sound normal. This sounds alien-like. You have run through a wall, and I'm like, run into a wall. Why not? Flying cars.
And for everybody out there that is correcting me right now with the 9 3/4 bullshit, that's what I was talking about. That's what I'm saying. Somebody must. What if her first draft had like 9.5 in it, and somebody said, "What is this half bullshit?" Oh well, I'll make it 9 3/4. That was the joke. Sorry.
I think it's so funny because you go back at it now, and everyone has this point of view as Harry Potter, and I'm sure other authors read the book and they're like, "What the hell? How did this get approved?" or so on and so forth. But I think it's also the spontaneous, crazy, weird things that like completely grip people. Because I can't lie. When I see a weird title on a book, I'm like, I might read that. I don't know what's it about. There's an octopus. There's some Japanese name on it. I don't know what's going to happen in this novel, but this seems interesting to me. And the more crazy, the more it just soaks people in. Reading a book that says Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, that can mean a lot of things. You definitely don't think it's a corridor in a high school, I can tell you that.
And you have to wonder about a book's title when they don't change it for the porno.
Yeah.
They don't adjust it for the porno. Harry the Chamber of Secrets is actually the porno name of the porno. So.
Oh God, names are just so interesting to come up with. Oh.
Jay,
Also, is it just me or does Potterhead sound really kind of either gross or dirty?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Jay's freaking me out. He's
I'm
very.
not really sure what that is, but I'm certain it happens in a porta-john. I don't know.
Oh,
Jay looks like he has a dad pun that he's been trying to say for the past 30 minutes.
sorry. There you go.
No, I was trying to chime in, but there's such a lively conversation, and I was like, I'll just sit back and listen. I was thinking like 20 minutes ago when we was talking about it, when William was telling us all about why the writing industry is special and why writers are special as artists, and I thought that it's so nice and so sweet to hear a young artist talking like this before they've been put through the meat grinder, become more jaded and disgusted with everything. And it's just like, man, I remember having that kind of passion, and that was such a beautiful, pure feeling.
Don't scare him, Jay.
Well, no, I really wish that I had that back. I want that pure joy in creating art again, without the marketing and all the other crap that we've got to go through, just the happiness.
I think I learned over.
Well, Jay, the other part about being a writer, having this kind of artistry is you can literally redo it. Every sentence, every paragraph, every word you put down can be your new spark.
Yes.
That's what I learned.
You could already have all of your words down, and then you go back through and you clean it up and you edit it, and you maybe you shift some paragraphs around, and boom, it's like a whole new thing. We have infinite chances of making that spark over and over and over again.
And if your first book sounds like English is
literally
not
infinite,
your first language, you can always re-edit it.
Yes.
And I think the spark in writing for me, and what I've learned how to keep everything, because even in college it's difficult because I study law, so I'm constantly writing, and it's not always about things I enjoy writing about. But I've learned when I am doing my writing as a hobby and not for law, if I I did read that.
this is why I love Anita's writing, and I always read her stuff.
All right, for the podcast, Dave, read the comment for the podcast.
I had a character over the head with a garden gnome today that made me very happy.
I think you got to read it. And I'm more happy. I get a character over the head with that garden gnome today. You know, that made me really happy.
I get a character over the head with a garden gnome.
But I think it's it's things like that.
Because that's how she'd say it too. Like she was happy if she typed that out. It's Anita.
I can totally see Anita just all smiles. I hit a character in the head with a garden gnome today.
And as an artist, I'm sitting here wondering, was she happy about destroying the garden gnome or killing the person?
Both.
Both.
Kill two birds with one gnome. Jokes on you.
Oh, damn.
Coming out with the dad joke.
But I learned that a spark in writing can be anything from one word to one sentence really quickly, and that's because of law.
Yes.
If his readers aren't traumatized, he's not happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and Josh Robertson, this is kind of for you, and I know you saw my Twitter post earlier. I did finally watch Joker last night with my wife, and I put it off for a long time because I was just in a really bad headspace, and I knew it was going to be a disturbing movie, and so I finally watched it, and I was blown away by how well done this movie was. I was just blown away, but holy cow, was it? It was hard to watch. I mean, I was teary for most of it because it was just it's heart-wrenching, and but yeah, I mean, talk about tormenting your viewers for 2 hours. That was rough.
Oh, I was having a blast watching Joker. It's probably because I come from a twisted.
But Jane's your mom.
I am twisted.
I was watching Joker, and as we were leaving the theater, I enjoyed the movie so much. Girlfriend, friends were all like traumatized, and I'm just doing the Joker dance out of the theater, just like rocking and they're freaking out. They're like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Because it's great writing. Every single second of that moment, of that movie, was intense, and you don't understand the amount of hard work that it takes to get that in a character, let alone a comic book character. Which, in my opinion, comic books are just as hard as writing, if not more difficult, because you have to have the artistry, the constant monologue, the fight scenes, and all this. And I'm like, you have no idea how hard it is to make the Joker a good movie. There's only been one person who's done it good.
That's what she said.
Heath Ledger.
Yep.
Besides Heath Ledger.
Yep.
And I think that Joaquin has definitely taken the crown away. And I think that one of the beautiful things about that movie is not only was the acting and the cinematography and the writing, all of the basic movie stuff, all of it was just spot on and perfect, but they also managed to work in social awareness of certain issues throughout that movie that it's just like, wow, I was just blown away.
You know that Heath Ledger was one of Joaquin Phoenix's closest friends, and he modeled a lot of his performance after Heath Ledger.
Yep.
Wow.
He took a lot from him.
Surprised me.
Wow.
But yeah. Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger were very close.
Okay. Well, I think that after all this hardcore talk about whatever we've been talking about,
Jonesy didn't get to tell her story.
It's time for who?
Jonesy, didn't you say you wanted to tell your story about your first writing experience?
No, did you guys want to hear my origin story as a writer?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Does it involve Anything we can't say on this show?
Wait,
mine-
wait, there's boundaries on this show?
Mine is very sad, actually. You wanna talk about harsh moms? Let's see. I started writing first grade. I made a little book at school. It was a little school project, and I brought it home and I showed it off, and I got a little bit of praise, but then I wanted more. So I cut new pieces of paper and folded it and stapled it on the back, and I continued writing the story of this little crocodile. And we were real poor, y'all. So we didn't have paper to waste. We didn't have pencils to waste. So I could only write at school. And but I continued off and on until like we made enough money and I actually had an actual notebook. So I started using, and I'm not dumb. I wasn't allowed to like use the notebooks for school. I had to wait until the school year was over and then I could use the leftover papers.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all of these like, half used, 3/4 used notebooks, and I'd, write in the back of them and come up with little stories and everything. And I started developing this stack in my closet. And I don't know. I had all kinds of stories by the time I was like 14, 15. And one day my mother found them and threw them all away.
Oh.
She told me that she didn't read them. She didn't know what they were. She thought they were garbage, even though they're like perfectly stacked in the closet, all nice and neat. And like one like led to the other. So like I had titles and numbers, keeping them all in order. And I found out years later that she had in fact read them, thought they were trash, and so she trashed them. She thought my stories were trash, my writing was garbage, so she took the whole stack and threw them out and made fun of me. So she only made fun of me behind my back. So I started writing on a computer instead because she can't throw that away, right?
Right.
Well, my brothers found it and deleted it because, kids do as their parents do. I'd even made little like covers or little pictures to go with it in MS Paint, like literally pixel by pixel. And my brother spent weeks destroying it. He turned my characters into monsters, just made them look awful, just scribbled on them. And in MS Paint, you can't like undo that. So I just quit. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't accomplish anything because it was always being destroyed. So I just stopped until I was 27, 26. I already moved out of the house. I moved across the country. I'm gone. I don't have to deal with these people anymore. They never gave me a shit about any of it anyway. So I started writing when my husband was deployed. The second time, third time, just as a way to like keep my sanity because I didn't know anyone there. And it was a lot of fun, and I was sharing it online, and like people liked it, and I started getting better, and it wasn't getting destroyed too. So like I could keep it and work on it, and actually get better. And then I found out about EDX. I don't know if you guys know about EDX. It's amazing. It is free college classes.
Okay.
So next deployment my husband went on, I took, I don't know, it was 60 something classes, like back to 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 back. And I learned how to be a writer and author, how to run a business, got a little bit of lead in on how to actually put a book together, how a book should go together. And then I got super freaking lucky and I found this YouTube show called Go Indie Now.
Mm-hmm.
and they talked to all kinds of authors and editors, and I studied the shit out of that. Like, I'd be taking my classes with Go Indie Now running in the background, and then I found this other amazing YouTuber guy who was talking about like how you should put your book together, how your cover genre, what is expected, how to learn about that. And that was some random dude with like a crazy beard who lived in Alaska. His name's Joshua Robertson. I figured that out a couple of years later because I don't watch the videos, I listen to them. So like I just just watched all of his stuff. I listened to all of his stuff for the first 6 months while I'm like putting stuff together, and kind of found my tribe there.
Good.
So now I've got Joe up here, my co-sponsor here. I've got Joshua Robertson in the chat, and those are the two people who, while never speaking to me, knowing me, reading any of my stuff, gave me the encouragement I needed to actually write and publish. And I hit that publish button that first time, and I was completely indie, doing this 100% on my own. And I did a little dance around, and then I went and watched Go Indie Now. And it's like, okay, Go Indie Now, what do I do now that I hit publish? And he had a show for that. Go figure. You've hit publish. Now what?
It's pretty amazing how people that we've never met and that we don't actually interact with can have such an impact on our life.
Yep.
And that's a really special thing. So, and that's why we all do these kinds of things, not only to have fun, but to hopefully help people. We've only got.
I'm sorry, Jason.
What's that?
No,
I was actually just gonna say, we've only got about 9 minutes left, and I know Joe has something huge and massive. At least that's what I've heard. So I was hoping to find out a little bit more about it.
Okay, well, I would be happy to give my announcement. But I first want to say one of the coolest things about what we're able to do and how we're able to do it is that we're able to reach people and contact those people and talk to those people directly. I had several things that I've read in my life and things that have influenced me, and those people either were long dead or not approachable at all. And so, I think it's pretty cool that, you have things like Spilling Ink and Go Indie Now and what Josh did in the past, and you can still see everything that Josh did in the past. It's still there. Great shows out there that you can actually interact with those people and learn from and ask questions. And I encourage everybody to do that all the time. We're always open. I know I am. I know that the folks here at Spilling Ink are very open about encouraging you. If you ever have a question, if you ever have something you want to talk about, if you ever see a subject that you don't know about and you'd like us to cover it, I know that we would be there to listen to what you have to say and do that. So really, really, that's one of the cool opportunities that we present. So definitely go check all that out. So with Go Indie Now, we've been doing this now. We're going on our 4th year next March. And so in doing so, you grow and you expand. And the idea has always been to have kind of this network and keep it going and keep it growing. And so part of that, I've been planning and moving forward with the plan that I had from the beginning. And so this is actually a call to action more than a huge announcement. And it's for everybody who's ever been a part of what we've done. If you've ever been on our show, if you're a part of the audience that likes what we do, like, if we've done something like, I can't believe that we touched somebody like, Rebekah, that was an amazing story. But we need your help right now. And in doing so, what you're going to accomplish is giving all of the people who've been a part of our show and people beyond that an opportunity to grow and reach a bigger audience. We have some people who are interested in helping us grow and become bigger. The only thing that they have trepidation about is that we're a small entity right now, and I've never not let it grow naturally. I'm always for growing naturally. There's several ways you can cheat in this business and grow your audience in certain ways, and I've never been that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I've always wanted to encourage the small audience that we've had to stay with us and be with us and be a part of what we do. And so I'm very, very much still about that. But if you can, every once in a while, just tell people about us and put it out there that, there's this great network out there and maybe there's something for you. Gear toward the person personally and put it out there. Because right now, we're at a point where we need to grow our social media presence. And I'm going to do everything I can to do that as well. And I do that constantly anyway. But our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and our Instagram page really have a need to expand. And if we do that, we're going to accomplish something incredibly huge. A lot of people would look at what is in front of me if you knew exactly what I'm talking about. That's in front of me and go, that's impossible to do. But I've never been that person. I've never believed in impossibility. I believe everything is possible. So by the end of the year, I need to hit a certain threshold in order to impress these people and move this forward. And this is a big opportunity and an opportunity that I don't take lightly. And if it doesn't work out, then that's what it's supposed to be. And from that, I will keep going forward and doing what I do anyway and make it either way. But this is a really good chance to almost not just by hundreds, but by 1,000 times expand our audience and our reach. So everybody who's ever done anything on our show will get seen 1,000 times over, more than they have been on our show currently. And that, I think, is an important thing. It's why I do what I do. I don't make any money doing this. I don't have any monetization method or anything like that right now. And my goal has always been to be a 24/7 network, and we're getting closer and closer to that goal. And we're doing more and more to make that happen. And so this is a big part of that right now. So I'm just asking everybody that knows me, knows about this, to really put it out there and just keep it going. And this will be amazing if we can make this happen. And I'm real excited about this opportunity. So really, thank you so much for all the support that you give us and continue to give us. And I really appreciate that so much. So thank you.
And Joe really is a great ally for so many communities, and he is so open to artists of all different kinds coming on the show and helping to get their foot in the door and get them going with what they want to do. And you heard it right from Rebekah's mouth there that, and now she's are you CEO, COO? What is your position?
Chief Operating Officer, right?
COO, Chief Officer of Operations. I make the book do.
Yep. So she runs her own publishing company with two other wonderful people, and that all started from
And without a doubt, Three Theories Press would not be here. I would not be here if it wasn't for Joe. Straight up.
And you heard him. He's not asking for. He's not asking.
No, I know that for a fact.
Yeah. We're not asking you to buy books. We're not asking you to buy anything. All we'd like you to do is like his page, share it around a little bit, maybe tell your friends, hey, check out this network. And there's a ton of cool content on there. Everyone on this show right now has been on there in some form, except for William. William, your time will come.
Absolutely. We'd love to have William. But and beyond, and I should mention beyond just what I do programming wise, I'm going to need content to fill, because this is a 24/7 opportunity. And so there's podcasts out there, there's people out there that I know who do stuff that I would love to put attention to as well. And so if we can partner together, I think this opportunity speaks well to you as well. So, and I don't want to go into details. I don't want to call anybody out because it's not the way I do things. So, but trust me when I tell you this is something that I'm really excited about and going for. And like I said, if we don't get to the Miracle Mile in this stretch that I'm looking at, it's not a big deal. I'm going to continue to do what I do and grow as I grow, and we will get there. It's just a matter of time. And it's not a matter of when, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that's how I feel. I've always felt that way. I have a plan, and I've always had a plan, and it's going like clockwork. So, and it's accelerated. It's gone faster than I even expected. So, in that respect, I just really appreciate all the support that everybody gives us, and really, that's really what I'm trying to say is that I can't, in a time when, in a year that's really sucked big time ass. This is, you guys have been there, and I really appreciate that so much.
And don't forget, guys, don't just like it for yourself. Don't just, oh, hey, I'm an author, so I like this. Please, seriously, everyone. Like, you heard what I just said. If you know anyone, any flavor of indie artist, link them to Go Indie Now, because there is something on Go Indie Now that will help them. Like, this is just a fact. If they're an artist, if they're a painter, if they're an author, if they're a writer, if they're an editor, if they're a musician, if they make games, if they make movies, if they're actors, if they're actresses, there's something on Go Indie Now that will help them. So share the link, share the channel, share everything you can about Go Indie with those aspiring artists. You will be helping them and Joe.
Well, this was a good show tonight, guys. Katie, you want to wrap us up for the evening?
I don't know if I can wrap it up better than we've already, wrapped it. I mean, we're riding the high right now of, just positivity and, indie author collaboration. And I don't want to sully that by saying the wrong words. So I think we need to end it on Joe's famous line.
Well, wait. We have a sponsorship deal. We have to end it a certain way.
But
This show is sponsored by Rebekah Jonesy, author of the Mabs Doll series, where the Fae know that everyone is unique and all love is valid. Thank you, Rebekah Jonesy. You are a fabulous ally, and we appreciate having you be a part of this show.
And now
it was a pleasure.
it's always Go Indie Now time.
Wait, Joe, here we go. Ready? On three. 1, 2, 3.
It's always time to Go Indie Now.
Go Indie Now.
Nailed it! All right, guys. Like, share, subscribe. We will be back next week, and we will make sure to put all of the links in the show notes. So check our show notes out on our YouTube channel in about 5 minutes or so. It'll all be up there.
Yes, and make sure to always roll your clothes if you're traveling.